passion becomes purpose with a plan. I absolutely love that because there's a lot of things that we're passionate about, but maybe it's not our purpose, or maybe you can't make it your purpose. But if with a plan, now you can take that passion and now it can become your purpose because you plan on how to make it work. So I love that. Welcome to another episode of Breaking Down the Long Game. We're back with Thomas, and we're going to be dissecting your latest post, or a post from a couple weeks ago, I guess, called A Purposeful Life. So I want to throw it to you first, and when you hear about living someone's purpose, you hear purpose when it is somebody's life, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I just think of, it's what you were born to do. When you think of purpose, you think of, hey, I'm here on this earth, and this is the thing that I was called to do, whether you believe in a higher power or whatever else it may be. It's just the way that you can maybe best help out, or what gives you the most enjoyment, or I just think if it gives you your purpose and kind of drives you through life.
I would, it's kind of like that, the meaning of life. What's the meaning of my life? What's the purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? So I would agree with that. And I wonder if we're born with the purpose, or if we kind of find that purpose, that there's many purposes out there for us, and that through life and our decisions and things that happen, we may end up going and finding that purpose. I don't know. And maybe it's all one and the same. It's just kind of different way that you believe in things. I
think it's a mix of things. I think it's like, your parents help bring about certain interests you have, and I think if I was born into a different family, maybe my purpose would have been different. So it's kind of a little bit of what you're born, and also a little bit of how you're raised, and where those two mix.
Right, and we were talking about this beforehand as we were preparing, that you're seeing, younger generations more interested in purpose. And I look at it kind of with, my generation. I'm an old millennial, but we were the first ones that really started talking about work-life balance, at least that I'm aware of. Maybe there were older generations. I think my dad, he had a real good balance between work and home life, but he didn't really feel like he heard a lot of people talk about that, where we get made fun of for wanting that work-life balance. But I think that having that work-life balance allows us to live a more purposeful life, so that we aren't neglecting our families or missing out on the meaningful events that our children go through because we're working. You said something to the extent of, you used to live to work, and it's kind of like now we're working to be able to live, and it's swaying more towards we want work to be able to provide us the life that we want, and if we can make our work our purpose as well, then that's like icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked to my parents and some people in their generation about it, and they always highlight, for their parents, it was the Great Depression time, and you were serving in the military, and so for them, this new life was get a good job, have benefits, provide for your family. And now the generation before is we've seen that, and now we're ready for how do we find a job that's not only good for our family, but fulfilling to us, and where we can really, live out our purpose.
And the concept of purpose, purpose is a word I think I've said 1,000 times over the last month. And it's only because over the last couple of years, at least me personally, the purpose of my work has become more clear. I've been a financial advisor since day one of working out of college, and I knew I wanted to help people, but as things have evolved and my career has evolved, that's why I was wondering if the purpose is out there meant for us to find, or if it's already in us. But as I've been doing this longer and having more conversations and realizing who I'm most interested to help and who I can help the best and where I want to go, I have found a greater purpose in my work, which makes me more excited about helping our clients find the purpose. So from a personal standpoint, my purpose centers around family and being a good husband and being a good father and raising 3 great boys. That's the ultimate purpose. But then when I get to my work, I really get excited about helping other people realize what their purpose is. Because you and I talked about it before as well. A lot of people don't realize what their purpose might be or what they want that to be. They don't sit down to reflect upon what are the things they enjoy, what do they want to do, what's most important to them. A lot of people, when they first come in for a financial planning meeting, they don't know. It's like pulling teeth to get them to answer just basic questions of, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? I don't know. Well, sit down and think about that, because if you didn't have a worry in the world, or else on the flip side, you had limited amount of time, if we pull Kinder's questions in, George Kinder's questions, those answers are what are going to steer you towards finding what's most important, what's that purpose. So I think that I'm excited about helping people figure that out, one, and then building the plan to go down that path to live that purpose or find that purpose and then make that their life.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the most interesting things for me so far is when we sit down in that first meeting and talk to people about their purpose. People are usually like stumbled. They're like, well, let me sit here and think for a little bit. And I just thought naturally people do think about it. And I think that's one of our faults is we just kind of get going through life and we never really take the time to think through, how can we live out our purpose or what even is it?
And I think we live in a time where it's even more distracting of figuring out what our purpose is because we're so focused on social media and everybody else and what they're doing and trying to chase them that we're not really stepping back and seeing what's most important to ourselves. And so if you get away from the social media and the things that are there and start thinking about, well, what are the things that bring you the greatest enjoyment? What are the things you want to spend your time doing? That's going to start getting yourself down. And one caveat I want to put out there, or one thing to be careful of, is there's a difference between passion and purpose. And there's a line on our website, shout out to Andy who did our website, because he came up with this copy. I'm going to read it because it's right there. Passion becomes purpose with a plan. I absolutely love that because there's a lot of things that we're passionate about, but maybe it's not our purpose, or maybe you can't make it your purpose. But if with a plan, now you can take that passion and now it can become your purpose because you plan on how to make it work. So I love that line. And again, it all goes back to my excitement of helping people figure out that purpose and building a plan to it. The final thing I was going to throw out there and get your feedback on is, what if your life's work, your career, is not your purpose?
Yeah, I think that is a challenging thing because, I think for us it is, and that's super exciting. But for some people, it's not. Sometimes it's your family, sometimes it's church, sometimes it's giving back, sports, whatever it may be, and that's okay. It's just you got to find balance. You have to, at some point of your life or some place of your life, find that purpose. Otherwise, I feel like to me, it's just you're going to be going through the motions and you're not finding enjoyment in what you do. And I mean, we have one life. I don't think that's really the life anybody wants to live.
And if you find yourself in a situation where your employment is not your purpose and there's nothing you can do about it, then it's okay that if that has to be your means to your purpose. So if your purpose is something charitable, or maybe it's your time and the job situation you're in you may not love, that may not be your purpose is your job, but it allows you the time or it allows you the income to go do the things you want that ultimately lets you find your purpose and live that purpose, then I think that's okay as well. Like, not everybody is going to be in a position where their work is their purpose. Like you said, like we are. I know I'm very fortunate to feel that way. But I know there's a lot of people out there that make the sacrifice of doing something they don't love so that they have the ability to do the things that they do love. And that's okay, because not every passion or not every purpose can be a providing job. Mm-hmm. That's not the way it works for everybody. So, but I think it all goes back to knowing what that is and having that conversation and figuring those things out and taking some time to reflect to figure out what those things are, and then how do you bring that into your life so that it's there.
Yeah, and I think balance is the big thing, because you also see the people that they love their job and all they do is work and they make a ton of money and they have lake houses and boats and all this stuff, but all they do is work and they never get to spend any of that time with their family, and that also can be a fault as well.
Mm-hmm. And the final thing I'll throw out there, just to plug financial planning into this, financial planning could put you in a position and behaviors to where you could go find that purpose. So an example of this is, we have a client who shall be remain nameless. She messaged me and said that she was leaving her corporate job to go start a club sport in another city, which truly is her passion and really is her purpose. And I know that because she's been doing side gigs and side hustles. But she's leaving this good income, moving from a city that she hates to be able to go chase this dream, this goal that would be much more in line with her values, much more in line with her purpose, and she'd be a lot happier even if she made less money. Mm-hmm. And what's going to allow her the opportunity to go chase that is the planning that's been done over the last 5 years to put herself in a financial position to go do that. Now, she's going to make sacrifices to do that, but she's in a position where she can sacrifice to chase this dream, kind of a one step back to make 2 steps forward type of thing. So, we talk about purpose and plan and passion. Like, a plan can help you. It doesn't guarantee it, but it puts you in a better position to be financially stable to take that risk, or understand what the risks are to be able to go chase that passion and turn it into a purpose.
Yeah, because I think the biggest thing that we see is that people have these dreams, but they just don't think it's realistic. And if you actually can lay out a plan and show, hey, here's what the numbers are, this is realistic for you to do, then people can at least feel more confident that they're able to do that.
And sometimes it's not. And sometimes you go through that process and you put that all out there, and either it's not possible or it's too great of a risk, but at least you know. And then you're not going to look back in life and say, man, I wish I would have done this, but you didn't because you never took the time to see if it was even a possibility. Mm-hmm. So obviously we've said purpose a lot in this video, so it's a very important word for us. I hope it is for you as well. But if you've never sat down, just kind of write down the things you enjoy, and if you had all the money in the world, what would you be doing? And start thinking about the things that are most important, and then how can you bring that into your life? What changes might you need to make, or maybe it's already there and you don't have to make changes. Any closing thoughts on a purposeful life?
No, I think we hit it well. Obviously, purpose is really big to us and our firm, and we just hope that other people can find the way to live out their purpose like we feel like we have.
All right, so link in the show notes below for Thomas's blog. Go check it out. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a bunch of content. We'll be doing these videos every week coming on, furthering this conversation about purpose and planning and kind of bringing this all together. So be sure to subscribe, like, leave some comments. What's your purpose? Put it in there if you're not too shy to share. And we'll see you all next week in the next Breaking Down the Long Game.